What would you do if you were the last human on Earth? It's a question we have asked ourselves or someone we know before. Asking that question is usually just for fun, but if that question became a reality, it definitely wouldn't be very much fun. Or would it? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Charlotte Dobre. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Imagine you woke up one day to find that there was no one else around. No cars driving past, no people on the street, just silence. As a result of decades of population decline, the human race has gone extinct, and you are the last person alive. What do you do in that situation? Well, you could pretty much do anything you wanted that doesn't rely on other people. You would be king or queen of the world, but your kingdom would be empty. At first, it would be quite calming and empowering. All you would hear is the wind, the chirping of the birds, and maybe a dog bark or two. Perhaps you wouldn't know you were the last person on Earth, so you would attempt to find ways to communicate with others, perhaps by radio. Once you did finally realize that there was no one else, then reality would set in. You have no family, no loved ones, no one to talk to. It poses the question, could you handle the solitude? Survival instincts would set in. You would need to find shelter, food, and clothing, enough to sustain you. Your survival is now dependent on one person, yourself. There will be millions of survival books available for you. You will have to learn things like water filtration, hunting techniques, and engine repair. A person can survive for 6 weeks without food, yet only 6 days without water. If there was no one left on Earth, there would be no electricity and definitely no running water. You would have to stock up on water stored in domestic tanks and bottles. But how long would that water last? Not very long, unfortunately. You would have to keep moving around from place to place, raiding supermarkets for food, medical supplies, and bottled water. You could survive off canned food for quite some time, decades even. Fresh produce, however, would not be an option, unless you managed to grow it yourself or learn how to hunt. It would be hard, but it would have to be done. You would also have to get yourself a gun in order to do this, and practice. Personal hygiene would also be an issue. The only hot water available would be from boiling it on a gas stove. You would have to bathe in rivers or lakes. What about the question of injury? You can't get injured, as there will be no one to tend to your injuries. Broken limbs, if left untreated, could be fatal. You would probably move away from the cities. Without maintenance, buildings would begin to crumble and ultimately be unsafe. This will happen within 10 years. You would have to get around by taking gas from abandoned cars by taking it out manually with a petrol pump, taken from a gas station. The good news is, you could finally go to the places you couldn't before, in an abandoned Bugatti perhaps, and speed down the highway as fast as you wanted. Depending on where you live, you could go to the White House, the Royal Palace, or even Area 51 to see if there are really aliens there. The world is truly your oyster. You can live anywhere you want. No more borders, no more immigration laws. But humans also need to be social. Human happiness is derived from relationships. You would obviously need companionship of some kind, so maybe you would get yourself a dog. Heck, go crazy. Why not a few dogs who you can train to help you hunt and even protect you? Keep in mind though, you also need to feed the company you keep. Years would pass and you would spend them listening to music, reading, sitting by a beautiful view, and likely drinking. A lot. Perhaps you would try to make a legacy of some kind. Hieroglyphs, or something that would depict you, the last human that ever lived. What would you do if you were the last human on Earth? Let us know in the comments below. For now, I'm Charlotte Dobre for Life's Biggest Questions. You will see a link to our Patreon. Please click it to support our channel. You should also click one of these 2 videos to continue watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to Life's Biggest Questions for all of life's biggest answers.